Yo, welcome to another episode of the Quarantine Chronicles. I'm your host, DG Bags, and I'm here with a very special guest, Cassidy.
What's up with you, boy?
Man, I'm good, man. First time I ever heard you was on the Ruff Ryders Volume 3 joint, the All-Star Freestyle, you know what I mean? And I remember I was listening to everybody was going hard. Then it got to your part, and I had never heard nobody like body and shit like that, like back to back to back, and the rhymes was you was like what I call it, like not using shortcuts just to get to the punchline. It was like a rhyme to match the rhyme to get to the line, which was already
Yeah.
clever, you know what I'm saying? And I was rewinding that shit over and over before I even finished. Styles come on, and he like, yo, I'm gonna let my man go again.
Let me give you the history on that. That was Ride or Die Volume 3, but I was on Ride or Die Volume 2. Me and Larson, I was in the three-man group. Me, Shiz, and Akbar. We did a record on Ride or Die Volume 2 with Young One on the chorus. That was another artist that was down with the Rough Riders at the time. You don't want no war. You don't want no problem, boy. These Ride or Die boys are fuck. Like, it was like that.
Yeah.
And I can't, don't make me reach for these. I got heat to squeeze that'll make your face melt like pizza cheese.
Pizza
You need to
cheese.
leave because you don't stand a chance, man. I get greasy like mechanic hands, and y'all niggas all sweet like candy yams. Clear blocks out, hop out the family van,
Family
looking
van.
like a handyman with tubes on the waist. Put you in the ambulance with tubes in your face, like. But that was like the first verse, and then I did the volume 3 with that Styles joint. But that beat we actually used on that volume 3 joint that you talking about with Styles, we actually battled on that beat. It was these dudes from Philly, Lotto, Rocka, and Fame. Those was 3 dudes from Philly. They was like a team, and they came up to battle my 3-man group, and we was battling for hours. The whole Locks was there. A lot of niggas was there, but everybody was witnessing it, and we was battling for hours and hours and hours, and just going back and forth, back and forth. And that's how they got down with that team. But when we was battling, we was doing it over that beat. So the beat just stuck to people so much from that experience that we had to use the beat on the Ride or Die Volume 3. So that's why we jumped on that and did it like that. But the reason why I was able to go again and I went last on the track, and you know what I mean, I held that type of weight on the track is because they remember how I bodied it during that battle. Like, you know what I mean? So at the time I was that nigga like that was talking that shit. I was giving it up the most. So that's why I was able to come back and go again.
Yo, where did you come up with that style, that not wasting rhyme style? Like, you know what I'm saying? Not skipping, not doing no shortcuts. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when you did it at the time, like I don't want to skip too far, like when I heard the freeway battle, but before I get to that, you know what I'm saying? But like just how you was piecing it up like that, like there was nobody before you doing that, bro. So who did you look up to, or when did it come to you like, damn, I'm really neat with this shit? You know what I mean?
I started in elementary school. I was always a fan of hip hop because my mom and my dad, they both rhymed before I was even born. They used to write bars and all that stuff while she was pregnant with me, my mom. So I came up in hip hop. Like ever since I was born, I could just remember hearing it, listening to it, loving it. But I never knew that I was gonna actually be a rapper until I was in elementary school in this after school program. They was going around the class asking people what they wanted to be when they grow up. But people were saying the normal shit like doctors, lawyers, firemen, and just the basic shit. So when they got to me, they like, what you gonna be? I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm gonna be a star, man. I'm gonna take this shit, you know what I mean? But I was just playing around, joking and all that. But the teacher put me on the spot and was like, all right, well, if you're gonna be a rapper, write a rap about this fire prevention program, bring it to school tomorrow and say it to the class, and we'll let you know if you got a chance of making it. So that was the first rap I wrote. So I wrote that fire prevention rap that night. You know what I mean? I went over it the whole night. The whole night kept saying it. And then I came the next day and I said it at the after school program, and everybody went crazy. Like, I mean, really crazy. They was screaming and asking me all these questions, and they couldn't believe I wrote something that dope. And that was my first rhyme. So when I seen it ain't take no money, no clothes, no outside influences. All it took was for me to think of something, write it down, and say it, and I can impress people like that. So once I seen that, I said I wanted to be a rapper, and the reason why I wanted to be a rapper was to be the best with the bars. So that's why I never cheat with the science. I never take shortcuts. It don't matter if the verse come quick to me and I write it in 1 minute, or it take 10 hours for me to think of one line. I'm gonna sit there and do it because I know what it take to get it right. So I always been focused on that. A lot of people get into business because they want to be successful. They want to get money. They want the women. They want to travel the world. It be for different reasons. So they willing to cheat. They don't really care as much about the science as I do because they in it for different reasons. But whether I can make a bag or not off of it, I would still want to do it and want to improve science. So when I found out that I can make a bag off it and keep the science going, that's when I turned into bars and started going crazy.
What was your first rap name?
Actually, my first rap name was Sharp. I was in a group called LSD, and LSD stand for Lyrically Sharp and Dangerous. And I was Little Sharp. But that's when I first started. But my name Barry, so in the hood in Philly we say the ball. So if your name Mark, they be like, yo, the ball Mark. Your name James, they be like the ball James. So since my name was Barry, people used to call me the ball B. But that wasn't my rap name. That's just what people call me. So I entered this competition in Philly. It was this radio cipher where you call up the radio station and you battle other people. If you win, you become the champion and you stay on the next day and got to battle some more people. When I found out about that radio show, I called up. And you know, it's the radio. So back then, the phone always busy. It never ring. It's always busy. And when it finally do ring, it ring forever. Like they never pick up. So it started ringing, and I didn't think they was gonna pick up, but they picked up. 103.9 the B. Who's this? And it caught me off guard. So instead of saying my rap name, Lil Sharp, they like, who this? I'm like, the Bull B. And they like, hold on. And I didn't know they recorded that though. So they recorded that, and they was like, yo, tonight we got a new artist, the Bull B. And they played me saying that. So I had to run with the Bull B, and that turned into my name for a minute. And the Bull B was my name forever. And Cassidy was my last name. My name was B. Cassidy, B. Cassidy. And Cassidy was like my last name. But when I got all of that, I guess it was too long. They cut the B off and just start calling me Cassidy. And that's how I got here.
Yeah, you got a track right now called Berry Time that I was listening to, and I love when you get on the track and start talking that shit. When I listen to you, Cass, no bullshit, bro, I be feeling like I'm listening to my conscience, like the shit I want to say, the shit that I feel, you know what I'm saying, my views on the world, my views on music, like how all these niggas whining and all the females is like really ones that's barring up and shit, like you be saying, like how niggas is dressing, and this is what's called fly. Like I just want to say that, bro. I love when you do that too. I liked how you set it up nicely like that. You know what I'm saying? You was always neat. You was always saying some shit, and your shit was always clever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I always from left field,
you, bro.
And it's not like Eminem, who's another lyricist I love, but Eminem might say some shit that that's not catching the average ear. You know what I'm saying? You was rhyming with things that you hear every day that you didn't even know rhyme, and putting it just like I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So
that's an important thing to me. I don't feel like everybody got to take the same path, but with me, I like intricate bars, but I like it in talk form. The same way I'm talking to you right now. I want to be able to put it in bar form, piece it up, and make it rhyme, but not force words to rhyme like I'm reading from a rhyming dictionary. I want it to just be like I'm having a conversation with you, but everything I'm saying is just pieced up to the T. And I feel like that's more difficult than just trying to make words that rhyme, but it's hard to follow where you going with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of dudes that's considered to be lyrical do that. Like, you know what I mean? It seems like they use a lot of big vocabulary and words that you wouldn't normally use, and the words rhyme good, but it's hard to follow exactly what they saying. It's like, what, I gotta go to 8 years of college to be able to figure this shit out? It's like, I don't really like that type of rap. I like people that put it in story form and put it in everyday talk form, like the same way you really normally talk. That's the way I want to hear you rap. But you hear some niggas, they'll be like sabbatical, dramatical, this is intergalactical, the mentamactical, actomactical, bentabactical, and it's like all these words rhyming, but you can't really understand what it mean or follow it. And it's like, what are you really saying? Like, but them dudes be getting considered to be lyrical, but I'm on a different type time. Like I gotta be able to follow you line for line. And if you talking intergalactical, intermactical, like if you rapping like that, then when you talk, I want to hear you talking the exact same way. Don't talk ignorant like you barely got any sense. But when you rap is, you know what I'm saying, autobiographical. Like I don't like that type of rap. That don't make
I
sense
know
to me.
exactly what you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. I swear. You know what I mean? And you know, so in that Rough Rider camp, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of niggas in there. I don't know if this is true or not, but from what I heard, there was a rumor that in order for a nigga to sign with Rough Riders, that you had to battle, and most of the niggas that you had to battle was like drag on. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, to get on with Rough Riders, you definitely had to put in some work. They wasn't just, signing dudes just to try to get checks or, it wasn't no easy route back then. Like you really had to grind. And even after you started battling, you still wouldn't get signed right away. Like they would make you go through levels of battling and prove yourself first before you could get a real contract. So you definitely had to go through levels and through people. Before I came around, you used to have to go through the locks first before you could get the DMX or whatever. Like it was like set up like that. The locks, Styles, Kiss, all them running down on people. Then drag come. So then you gotta go through drag, you know what I mean? And drag was bodying a lot of people. But once I came around, it's like I took that spot and now it was like it was just Cash. So after I came around, you never seen Dragon, the Locks, DMX, Eve, nobody battle because they didn't have to. Anybody that came to us that wanted to get busy, you had to go through me, and nobody couldn't get past me. So they always was good. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nobody signed after Cass.
Facts. And they ain't
What
have
was
to
your,
battle neither because nobody could beat me. So they just was like, they was able to just focus on their music and not even have to put no attention on battling because I was holding it down for them.
when did you first get in the studio? Because I know you're a great stage performer, and rhyming, a real MC, you know what I'm saying, is moving the crowd is different, a different technique than actually getting in the studio and laying doubles and ad libs and bringing it back, mixing your sound. Like, how did you get your studio craftsmanship up?
Well, I started early. I started recording when I was about 15 years old. My first manager was William Hart. He was the lead singer of the Delphonics. It's a legendary group called the Delphonics. They got hits like "Didn't I Blow Your Mind?"
I love the
So
Delphonics.
all of them legendary songs, he was responsible for writing. So he got he got robbed for his publishing early in his career. So he was able to teach me a lot about the business, about how to copyright your music, how a lot of the behind the scenes stuff go other than talent. So I was able to learn a lot of the business. He had a son, rest in peace, named Khalid, but his son was the producer, and they had a studio at their house. So that's when I first got my first producer, started making songs, choruses, focusing on bars, not just writing scattered verses and all that. That's when I really started putting songs together and started learning how to, with the help of them, you know what I'm saying, and the coaching of him. So that was around the time when I really started to learn how to make music. But at the time, I wasn't making no money off music. It's not like I was releasing no music. It wasn't technology and social media like today where you could put it out. So you really needed a deal with something to really be able to get your music heard. So most of the time I was sitting on the music, but only time that people would hear me was when I was barring it up. That's when they would hear me right away. But the music I was sitting on. So I was more focused on the bars at the time than the music because it was really nothing coming from the music. But once I got a deal, I signed my first record deal when I was 17 years old. My mom actually had to come to the meeting and sign for me because I was too young to sign a contract for myself. So when I signed my first deal when I was 17, that's when I really started focusing on music because it was a bag in it now. It was money in it, and that was the main focus at the time. But before that, I really was focusing on bars. But being down with William Hart and starting there was really how I learned how to make records and make the transition from just knowing how to rap to making songs. And then once
Well,
I got down with Swiss Beats, you know what I mean, he added a lot more to that because he was already, I mean, doing a lot of music and working with a lot of artists, and he got a crazy feel for rhythms and flows. Like I got a crazy feel for bars, direction, like concepts, but he got a crazy feel for flows and rhythms and how you supposed to catch him. So being around that for so many years was how I was able to learn how to master my flow and able to attack any beat per minute. Like it's certain rappers that can only rap to certain beats per minute. So certain trap beats that the young boys rapping to, certain old heads can't catch them type of beats. And if they do, they still gonna rap slow like how they used to. It's like
Right.
they off beat a little bit. And then, you know what I mean, you got some of the young boys that might rap on trap beats, but if you put them on the boom bap beat, they don't really sound good. They don't really know how to catch it. But me, it don't matter. Like it could be the slowest beat per minute or the fastest beat per minute that's out right now, and I could catch it all. And that come from being around dudes like Swiss and just growing, working every day, you know what I'm saying, and just learning how to just attack the music.
I know I always liked that you could do that shit. I remember when you did the I'm going a little far further up, but just to piggyback on what you said, when you dropped that condom style off the Gangnam style beat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, yo,
And that
this
was
nigga can't stop.
before my time. Like now with social media and the gram and TikTok and all of these sites so big, people do that every day, little spoofs where they playing around, joking around, and the shit go viral. So since that song was so big and so viral around the world, and I listened to the song and it's a good song, but it just was hard to understand how that song was even bigger than Michael Jackson songs and shit like that. Like that was like the biggest song in the world at the time. So I'm like, yo, if so many people like this song, let me just flip it on some funny shit. So it was like on that tip. And once I put it out, that shit caught a wave. I mean, a lot of people was hating, but double or not triple the amount of people was loving it. Condom company
Facts.
called me. I signed the deal off it. They gave me a nice check off it just for doing some freestyle that I was playing around on. So it's like, you know what I mean? Everything happened for a reason.
Oh, that's dope as fuck. When you did your deal with Swiss, why wasn't it a Rough Rider deal? Why wasn't it Larceny?
Uh, well, Larceny Family, I was a solo artist, but I had a team that I was down with, Shiz and Akbar. So when Rough Riders called me to New York to have my first meeting, I brought them with me. And when I had a conversation with him outside, and I'm like, yo, y'all know all my raps. I know y'all raps. Let's go in there like we a group and just back each other up like we a team, like we a group. And whoever they like, you know what I mean, to get an opportunity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just me just going in there by myself, we all go in there. Maybe they might like us all or just like one of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But let's do it like that. So we went in there and we was backing each other up and we was acting like a group, but we wasn't a group yet. So after we went in there, they was feeling us. So we had to come back outside and think of a name. And that's when we came up with Larceny. So we became a group after we met with the Rough Riders. We wasn't a group. We was just a team down with each other, but we turned into a group. And I was willing to do that to help my niggas get an opportunity too. But that's when we signed the Rough Riders as a 3-man group, Larceny. Swiss Beats was the main producer over there. Well, one of the main producers, and he was doing his thing at the time, and he was thinking about starting his own production company, but he needed artists. So he was looking around for artists and things like that. And he realized that he wanted me to be, you know what I mean, his first artist, but he wanted me as a solo artist. He didn't want me in a 3-man group. He just wanted me by myself. So I had to talk it over with my group, my management, and all of that. And that's how I got down with Swiss Beats as a solo artist. But I was originally a solo artist anyway. I just signed the Rough Riders in that 3-man group and became a group. But then Swiss wanted me as a solo artist, which what I originally was anyway. And that's how I signed um to the production company, which we started. At first it was gonna be Ride or Die Records, but it eventually was Full Surface Records. We started that, and then I got a deal with Sony BMG J Records, Clive Davis and them. So I got an artist deal with them, and then Full Surface was my production company. So that's how that all came together.
I see that. So who was responsible to getting R. Kelly on your first single? That's crazy. Your first single? It's crazy.
Um, Actually, it was an A&R at the time that was down with Full Surface. Well, he's still down with Swiss now. His name Grady. And it was his idea for me to do a record with Kelly. We was thinking about you know, certain artists that we could feature on the album and what would be some good records to get done. And I think Grady was the one that came up with the idea. And I think Swiss already had a relationship with R. Kelly and all of that. So they set it up, put it together for us to go out Chicago. That was the first time I met him in the studio. And when I met him, we just let him know the idea of the song, let him know, because we already had the idea, the concept of Hotel. We already knew where we wanted to go with it. But once we let him know, he just went in the booth right away and just started singing crazy. He did a bunch of different hooks and concepts. Like even the remix to Hotel, people think we re-recorded that, but he actually did the remix chorus and everything at the same time. Like he did so much different stuff at one time that was dope. It was just too much stuff to use, so we had to just narrow it down like how we did. But it was a dope situation. You know, I was super young. This was my first time actually even putting a project together. So to be in the studio with Swiss Beats, R. Kelly, and you know what I'm saying, people that I was listening to before I even thought about getting a deal, it was like, you know what I mean, a dream come true. And then when I was in the studio with Kels that day too, that was my first day meeting him. But when I was in the studio with him that day too, Twister was there. Twister came through, and I always knew Twister from, you know what I mean, from the records that he had out back then. And he actually was rhyming. He was spitting some fast shit, and I was rhyming for him. Like, you know what I mean? It was a dope little situation. So that's how that record came together. It was Grady Spivey, the A&R Full Surface.
Did you like the direction of the album or your first album? Because I see they was going for the hit records, which is the bag. You know what I'm saying? You had to join with Mashonda and all that. Because, you know, I always fucked with Cash, you know what I'm saying? But these was records that my girlfriend and them like, you know what I'm saying? My girl liked Hotel and all that. You know, and they had R. Kelly show up in the video and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But did you like the direction of that first album, how it went?
I was young, so you know, if people that been in the business forever that's telling you we sold hundreds of millions of records and we broke all of these artists and we did this for so long, and you know what I'm saying, you still a young cat that ain't really accomplished nothing. Of course you believe in yourself and you know that you're talented, but you ain't really got no track record or nothing to back it. Right. So a lot of time you're going to tend to want to listen to them people more than yourself. You know what I mean? And that's not always the best decision. But that was the reason why we went in that direction, because I was with the type of label I was with. They wasn't used to working hip hop. You know, if you look at G Records, they never broke a hip hop artist other than me. Like I'm the only hip hop artist that they had that ever sold records. So they wasn't really that good with hip hop. They was really pop and R&B and stuff like that.
Alicia Keys
so
and
they
shit
was
like that.
Yeah, they was crazy with that. But with hip hop, they wasn't really that good. So it was better for them if I had a top 40 type of record like Hotel, one of them commercial type of records. It'd be easier for them to work that because they already got that system set up for those type of records. It'd be harder for them to work maybe a harder, different type of record that maybe like a Def Jam or a label that specialize in hip hop would be able to work. You know what I'm saying? So that was the reason why I was forced to do those type of records in the beginning. And I even did other harder records at the time, but that's why the focus and the single and the main thing was focused on that, because they thought that was the best way to win and that was the easiest way for me to blow. But I always was fighting against that. That's why for my second album, I wanted to drop a harder record, and I came with I'm a Hustler, because I didn't want to come again with like another girly type of radio feeling type of record when everybody know me from being bar heavy, like from battles, from the streets, from DVDs, and then even like you said, Rough Rider Volume 2, Volume 3, is all bar heavy stuff. And then you come with these records like you not bar heavy, like you just a commercial dude. And it's like people was confused. My original fans was confused. The new fans thought that I was just a Hotel type of guy. They didn't know I was bar heavy and a real dude. They had no idea. So it was a lot of confusion. So that's why I wanted to get it straight. And I was trying to force a record that could potentially still be big, still be a hit record, but be more harder, and that my original fan base will fuck with more. And they ain't necessarily agree with I'm a Hustler, because if you listen to the chorus, and the chorus is nigga X, Nigga asks about me, nigga asks about me. That's already 6 niggas, and it's like it don't seem like that's a commercial type of record that'd be good for radio. It seemed like it's the worst song in the world to go with. But I just had a feeling about it, and once we put it out, that shit just skyrocketed. It's the first platinum ringtone. Everybody had it in their phone. Everybody talked about it. Everybody gonna remember it. That song going down in history. And I think the reason why it was so big because that was the bag I really was supposed to be in, that lane. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Did Swiss make that beat?
Yeah.
He made the Hustle because I thought he did because I know it seemed like he used that same format on T.I. Bring him out like he had found like a little format like, oh shit, I sample this J voice real quick and put that bounce and put them drums on it and get it going. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, we started that in the studio together. It was me and him. We was on and out one day, and he was making beats, and he started fucking with them drums, and I was like, yo, that shit sound hard. And he started putting some shit together, and he was like, yo, I got these acapella Jay-Z acapellas. Like, you know what I mean? I'm about to chop some Jay-Z shit up and put it on a joint. But it was just for like a freestyle. That's why we was chopping up Jay-Z voice, because we wasn't even thinking about clearing it enough, and it was just for a freestyle on the mixtape side. So we put the I'm a Hustler together, and it was a mixtape version first, but the verses were super long. Like I was going like 40, 50 bar verses, just blacking out on it on some freestyle stuff. Yeah. And we put it out, and the shit started going crazy. Actually, Rampage, he was down with Busta Rhymes and all of them. He was on the Flavor in Your Air remix, legendary Rampage. But he was DJing in Philly at the time, and he got the song and he started playing it. I wasn't even aware of it. But when I came back to the city, I went to the club, Allen Iverson, a bunch of stars, bunch of lit niggas in there, and they all singing the song. They all going crazy, dancing to it like they already know it as soon as it came on. It was like mayhem as soon as the shit dropped. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, I ain't even know niggas was fucking with it like that, and that shit was going crazy. But the verses were so long that it was taking a long time to get back to the I'm a hustler for people to go crazy. So I went back to New York and I'm like, yo, Swiss, we got to make this shit into a song. I got to shorten them verses. I got to make this into a real song. Niggas is loving this shit. This shit crazy. He like, for real? I'm like, yeah. And I just showed the nigga the proof of it. And he like, yo, let's get it. And we put that shit together and made it into a real song. And we had to clear it and all of that. But that's how we pushed it and made it into a single.
That shit's gravy, bro. I love it. You know, Swiss got that relationship with Jay, so I knew it wasn't no problem. You know what I'm saying? Jay, go on sign it through, man. You know what I mean? Word.
Yeah, we need this one, man.
Man, that time when you came out, bro, me personally, it was like my favorite time in hip hop, bro. It was like it was at its most creative. It was right before the internet, but it was after after DMX dropped it, like everything after Pac died, but before the internet. You know what I'm saying? After Big died, but before the internet. That time right there was my favorite time in hip hop, bro. And I remember when Freeway came out, I thought he was so nice. I love artists that bring a different flavor to the thing. And Freeway had this unusual way of rhyming where he would say the first 2 lines and then the third line, so it'd be like A A B C, A A B C D. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bringing it back. And so he had these unusual patterns and lines. And I was like, and he was talking that shit too. You know what I'm saying? So the Rockefeller freestyles. And I'm like, yo, this nigga Freeway is nice.
For sure.
So they was like, y'all was going to have a battle. Like Cassidy, the Freeway. I'm like, yo, this is my neat nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this nigga Free is like, I didn't know how you was going to match up with that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, shout out Freeway and everything. But this before there was no footage. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just the audio. You know what I'm saying? You was so neat, bro.
Yo, actually, me and Swift, we was in the studio. It was a Mary J. Blige session. Mary J. Blige had this song that Swiss Beats produced and Jay-Z was rapping on. But they did it like a while ago, so she wanted to update the song, like change the beat up, and wanted Jay-Z to flip his verse around. So that's why we was in the studio working on the Mary J. Blige song. I got hungry, so I told the driver to take me to McDonald's. While I'm riding to McDonald's, I hear State Property on the radio talking about they the best in the world. Nobody can't fuck with them. They willing to battle and bet money. And niggas called up and said they want to bet money, but they only wanted to bet $1,000. Holla, and they talking all this crazy shit on the radio. And they wasn't talking to me, but at the time, I just felt like I'm in the city. I know I'm hot. What the fuck is they talking? I got money to bet. What the fuck is they talking about? Like, so I just felt like they was coming at me. So when I came back from McDonald's, I went back in the studio and I'm like, yo, Swiss, these niggas out there talking crazy on the radio, man. Talking about niggas can't fuck with them and all that. Fuck is they talking about? He like, oh, well, that's cool because Jay-Z got to come to the studio anyway tonight to work on the song. So when we get here, we see what's up. So, you know what I mean? I just start focusing up. Next thing you know, I mean, Jay-Z come, you know what I mean? But he come just by himself, like, you know what I mean? Without state property, nobody start coming in. Then Swiss introduced me, you know what I mean? Jay-Z see I got a little, you know what I mean, chip on my shoulder, he introduced me and shit. So he like, yeah, this is my artist, Cass. He get busy, he the best nigga out, man. Like, nobody ain't fucking with Cass. Jay-Z like, what? Nigga, you ain't just hear my niggas on the radio. You ain't hear what, nigga? I got the best niggas. This nigga, look how little he look. He don't even look big enough for Beanie. Look how small he. Hold up, man. You don't look old enough for. What I gotta put you against my 16-year-old Chris? What I gotta put you against my young boy? Cause you don't even look old. What is this nigga? This nigga look like a kid. He trying to play me. So you know, at this time, I wasn't too industry. I was high-headed at the time. So I stay, I'm like, nigga, what? I kill them niggas. I don't give a fuck who you bring through this joint. I murder them niggas. He like, what, nigga? So he pick up his phone. Yeah, I'm at the studio. Nigga talk crazy. Yeah, I need y'all to come through, man. All right, holla. So he start calling niggas up. So we start calling niggas up. Next thing you know, niggas come with the cameras. Niggas come and all that. And then that's when the state property come through. Beans, Chris, Oskino, Freeway, they all come through. You know what I mean? And once they get there, Jay like, now who you said you wanted to battle? I was like, nigga, I ain't say I wanted to battle nobody. I told you I'm representing my team. Whoever you want to represent yours, I'ma smash him. Like, and they just started saying Freeway, free. They started calling his name out, I guess, because he was like, they was working on his album at the time. Probably just killed the radio. So they started saying free. But I ain't expect them to pick Free because I was a fan of state property too. But I know how they rap. I know Free, like you said, he got that in and out flow pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, like you said, he might go in and out, or sometimes he might go 3 lines and then switch the line, then go 2 lines and bring that line back. It's like he got an in and out flow pattern. And sometimes when it's on the beat, you know what I mean, you can follow it because it's on the beat. So you can follow it and it sound fire. But off beat, like a cappella, it's kind of hard to know how to follow that type of flow. So I knew that wasn't good for the type of battle rap that we was about to do. And he knew that too. That's probably why he like, yo, put on the beat. Let me get a beat. Because he know that type of style he used sound better on a beat. Like it don't really.
He got a lot of slack. He got a lot of slack for that. You know what I'm saying? But all real artists or real MCs know what he was talking about. It wasn't no diss. He was just saying, nah, let me get my shit off on this where I'm good at. You know what I'm saying? Like you got me on the basketball court. Let me just get on the football field. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all it was, man. But I ain't expect them to pick Free. I thought that was the bad decision. They should have picked somebody else with a different type of flow that would have resonated better a cappella. And that's the reason why I thought after Free, I thought they was gonna replace him. I thought they was going like, all right, Free, and replace him with somebody else, but it ain't really go down like that. But that shit was history, man.
Like that was the most rewind.
It was an audio at first. I mean, it was video from the beginning, but we wasn't supposed to release it. It wasn't supposed to get released. And one of the DJs got a hold of the video, but didn't put the video out because it wasn't like the technology like now. So he just recorded it, got the audio, and put it on the mixtape. And once he did that, all of the mixtape DJs started putting it on the mixtape, just the audio. Like, you know what I mean? So the majority of the world only heard the audio first. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it was on all the mixtapes and people was listening first. And then eventually, as technology got better, YouTube, all this stuff started advancing, people started seeing the video later. The only real people that seen the video in the beginning was like big industry people that was able to get in certain circles and watch it. You know what I'm saying?
This shit was crazy, bro. Yeah, I was blown away, man. I'm telling you, like I said, so obvious and so ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what we gonna do with this guy? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like what I call like a Harlem flow, like niggas that OD with the rhyme. It was like that, but you was like talking some shit and there was no shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? The punchlines were like all right hands. Boom, boom, boom. So, you know, I was crazy. So, you know, I was capping, you know what I'm saying? My nigga Cass,
Thank you, man.
Cass. So anything that I saw you in, bro, like it was like I say, it's like I told Flip, you know what I'm saying? It was like my bragging right because you was my pick. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Houston, Texas, bro. You know, it was back then, niggas only listened to what was going on down here. I was fortunate that my father and my rest of my family is from New York City. So when I grew up, I was listening to a Tribe Called Quest, Black Moon, Diggable Plan. Like I knew Busta Rhymes was before they saw. Like I'm a hip hop. My daddy's from the Bronx, so to him, hip hop.
DX.
Yeah, so to him, hip hop, when he talk to me, he's be like, the world's doing what me and my niggas was doing on my block, like this our shit, like so I had to really study music and study hip hop and had to know that shit, like you know what I'm saying, really had Slick Rick records and etc. You know what I'm saying? But when I heard you, I was like, I had.
And that's why you so advanced in the science, the shit that you like, the shit that you understand. That's probably why you advanced in the science, because you had the right type of upbringing, somebody that knew the history that was able to teach you. And it's like all of these dudes around the world, no matter from what coast you from or what you went through, whether you struggled or had a nice life or whatever, it's like hip hop is a vibe and everybody gonna love it and everybody gonna appreciate it. But everybody don't understand the science on the same level because it ain't no like stats like in basketball or like football where you could just not even understand the sport but still know who the best. It's like you could just watch the All-Star game or tell by stats, or you might not know nothing about basketball at all, but you know that LeBron James or Steph Curry or Zion Williams or one of these dudes that they naming all the time, you know they like the big dudes at the time. Like you don't gotta really understand it all the way. But the only way they judge rap by is just who's the most in your face, like who's selling the most records. But that's not how you tell who's the nicest. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we just gotta help people understand the science better, like understand what it takes and how difficult it is to do some of the shit that they hear. Some people could hear a rhyme where a person is rhyming 5 syllables, and rhyme the 5 syllables 3 times in a 2-bar space, and they can hear somebody else that rhyme 2 syllables twice in a 2-bar space and think that's on the same level, but it's not. It's like way more difficult to write 3 rhymes of 5 syllables in a 2-bar space than 1 rhyme and rhyming only 2 syllables. But it's like everybody don't understand that, so when they hear it, if you're not aware of that, it just all sound the same. You can't tell what is more difficult or what is more valuable or what's better. So that's why I'll be here to just help people understand the science better. I just did this song called The 4 Elements, and it's breaking down like from the beginning of hip hop till 1996. A lot of the people that inspired me, I learned from, that played a part in me becoming who I am. And it's like giving the people already that know the history, is just like refreshing their memory, and then it's giving the younger generation that might not know the information that they need to move forward. And it's called The 4 Elements, just breaking down what hip hop really represents and what it really means from the beginning, before all of the manipulation got in it, before the business got so big and all of the money people got into it and started to dilute the culture a little bit. You know what I mean? So
how do you,
y'all gonna
what
be
do you think
hearing that
about
real soon, The 4 Elements.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. You stay with that good music, bro. I got a couple of records from you know what I'm saying, that hate. Like I already told you, I love that Barry time. You know what I'm saying? Stay with the hot records, bro. I love that shit, man. Like I say, just keep talking that shit.
And lately I've been on my production too. Like them records you just named, I produced them too. So I produced it and wrote it. So that's 100% of the song. Like Barry Time, Hate, this 4 Elements song I was telling you about. A lot of other new records I got out right now too. I've been doing 100% of the record producing and writing too. So I'm working,
Mr.
man.
Chicken. Mr. Chicken, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get, that's 2 checks, y'all. Do your homework. That's 2 checks, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For sure.
Yes, indeed, man. So describe the battle scene now versus then, because back then when I was battling, there was no preparation. It was just, nigga, where you at the time. I was so crazy, bro. I couldn't even hear that you rap. If I heard a nigga rhyme, I was like, where he at? Like, where's head at? Where, like, I couldn't even hear who rhyme. What do you do? He rap?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? So You know, but right now
Yep.
niggas be preparing, having 2-3 months lining up, and
Now it's a business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Before it was like people looked at it as the stepping stone to get in the business. Like it's what you had to do in order to get your respect, your name known, and earn enough respect to where you can get a deal and get a following. That's how it was back then. Like when you said you was doing it and when I started doing it. But now it's like a business. These big stages, these crowds, they trying to sell tickets. Now leagues is trying to sell pay-per-views and they trying to make money. So when it's a business, it's not all revolved around the rules of the culture 100% of the time. Sometimes people make decisions based on what could make them the most money. And you can't knock that. Like when you're in a business and you hustling, that's what you're supposed to do. But people just got to understand that part. So now it is a lot more easier. Like if a round is already designated to be three, a battle is designated to be 3 rounds, and you got months to prepare or a month to prepare, right? Just 3 verses, then you know that it's never going to go past that. So all you got to do is just focus your full attention on those 3 verses. But back when we was battling, like, you know what I'm saying? If you get busy and you get super nice, you might end it. Like if you started off and you start rapping, you might go so hard. It could be 10 dudes there that thought they rap. But after you rap, nobody don't want to rap no more. So the battle
right.
over. You just killed 10 people and they didn't even rap. You only said one rap and you killed all 10 of them. They all quit. It could be situations like that, but it could be other situations where it's 10 dudes there, you rap, then 5 of them might not want to rap, but it's 5 of them that do want to rap. So you listen to all them. Then after you rap the second time, it still might be 3 that feel like they got another verse left. Then after you rap again, it might still be 2 that got 2 more verses. Like it's just different situations. You never know how it's gonna go. So your clip got to be full. Sometimes you might get in front of some dudes that got 20 dope rounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they might not be as nice as you, but they got 20 good rounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not really prepared, they will win. Not that they better than you, they just got a lot. So you got to be ready. Like, all right, if you want to go 20, we could go 20. I'm going to keep smacking you. So hopefully you quit at 3 or 5. But if you want to keep going your whole 20, I'm going to go to whole 20 and I'm going to keep smacking you. You got to be prepared. And it just take a lot more work, a lot more. Your clip got to be way more full than it do now. Like some of these dudes might have 2 battles a year, or you know what I'm saying, like 3 battles a year at the most. And if you got 2 battles a year or something like that, that's only 6 verses. The most you got to write that whole year is 6 verses. It's like I could write 6 verses in one night. Like I could sit down in one night and write 6 verses. Like that's nothing to me. So if I got a whole year to write 6 verses, that's not
Crazy.
nothing.
Child's
That's
play.
easier. That's easier than when you had the battle every day and people, the same people was around watching it, so you couldn't use the same material and it was going a lot of rounds. Like it mean you gotta keep writing every day. Like that radio competition I told you that I entered when I was 15. Like I was battling on the radio. I won so much that they had to retire me and make me a radio personality because I just couldn't be beat. But every night, every weekday, not the weekends, but every weekday, it was a different battle. So you had to battle 5, 6 more different people every day. And all of the viewers heard the rap that you spit the night before. So you can't just say the same rap that you used before. You got to come with new raps every night. So if you winning every night, you got to keep coming with more raps every night. And now that you the champion, everybody know that the boy B gonna be on there tonight. So everybody writing their raps to try to beat you, but you don't know who calling up. So you can't customize your raps for them. So it's kind of like you at a disadvantage a little bit, but you still got to keep doing it. So that just prepared me early in my life to just write every day, be on my job, always have my clip full. And I think that's what these dudes need to do. Even the battle rappers now that's super nice, they could be way nicer if their work ethic was better. Earlier, I told you when Lotto and them came to the Rough Rider studio when we battled on that Rough Rider 3 beat, right, volume 3 beat. That we started off like in the afternoon, maybe like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. And the battle wasn't over to like 8, 9 o'clock at night or some shit. It was like, you know what I mean? Niggas was battling all day. Like And it's like you gotta have a like I didn't know them dudes was coming in there with that type of material. Like I didn't know,
Yeah.
but they wasn't willing to give up, and there was three of them. So it's like we going back and forth. Then eventually, two of them stopped, and eventually the dudes in my group stopped, and now it's just me and Lotto, and now we just going back and forth for another hour. Like it's like
Yeah.
so it's like those type of battles you had to be super prepared, and you had to remember all of your rhymes, not just be active and
Right.
writing a lot, but you got to
That's what
be
I
able to
wanted to say.
remember them. A lot of these
Mm-hmm.
dudes be having 3 round battles and be forgetting their verses and mumbling and stuttering. And now with this crowd cheering, they got a lot of time to think about the next line. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and they still be messing up. So it's like, imagine if you got 2 battles a year, that's only 6 verses, and you still forgetting verses and stumbling and messing up. You know what I mean? Imagine if you had a battle every day, even if it was only 3 rounds every day, it's still every day, like, or even 1 round, it's just every day. It's like, so I think it was a different preparation needed back in the day. And that's why the dudes that was getting on back in the day that was coming from battle rap was making classical shit, like real crazy type of music. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, these battle rappers can't really necessarily make the transition that good because they missing certain things.
I don't think what I think they lack is they don't obsess over the rhyme. I don't think they obsess over it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I couldn't sleep. Like I get up in the middle of the night or use the restroom, like the rhyme just it torments you. You know what I'm saying? Do you still get tormented by the rhyme?
All the time. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how you just stay on top of it, especially me doing it for so long and not being trash. Like when I first started when I was 16, they was telling me I was the hottest in the city. Like everybody was telling me I was the best then. So I could have kicked my feet up and just stayed like that and just thought if I just kept rapping like that, I'd be all right. But I'm always determined to get better. Like my book right in front of me, I just got finished writing some shit just now. I'm always trying to further the science and take it to the next level and get better. And they keep wanting to do that after all of this time passes hard. That's why you see a lot
Mm-hmm.
of dudes that was legends back in the day, and it seemed like they fell off. And it's not really that they fell off because they still capable of doing the same shit that they did when you fell in love with them, if not better. Because more time
Mm-hmm.
passed and they got more experience and more information, so they actually able to do even more. It's just that they not on it no more. They not focused. They not writing. They not on top of it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's them that's not really focused up, and that's why you don't feel the same way about them. You know what I mean? So to stay in your bag and to keep up this work ethic is just like you gotta obsess over. You gotta be um having something to push you. And like I said, sometimes it be the money that push a lot of dudes. Just getting at the bag is what push dudes. But that's not necessarily what pushed me. What pushed me is the one to be the best and want to get the most people believe in that, because you only live as long as the last person that remember you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want people to
Mm-hmm.
always remember me for this, for bars, for up in the science, for never cheating, for you could never find a round where I cheated or couldn't think of something and just filled it in with anything. Like I want people to really be able to learn from how I carried it and encourage dudes that want to get more on their job. So by the time they 16 and 17, they doing certain stuff. By the time they 21, they like doing this. They like, I'm gonna even outwork Cass. He thought he worked, I'm gonna do more than him. Like, and imagine the type of music, the type of product we'd get if dudes be in that bag and stay in that bag. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want dudes to think that um this shit is a piece of cake. That's why a lot of dudes, that's why it's billions of people trying to rap. You know what I'm saying? Because they think
Mm-hmm.
it's a piece of cake. They think you could just write something down, say it, and just get rich. They don't think it's no
Mm-hmm.
work like other jobs. They think it's just real easy to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's not how they supposed to look at this culture, this art. You supposed to hear a
Mm-hmm.
nigga and feel like, yo, man, I don't give a fuck if I sat there for probably 2 years straight. I still probably could never write no shit like that. Like that's
Right.
how you
Right.
supposed to think when you hear these artists. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And in order to do that, you got to put in work. You can't play around with this shit. But a lot of that got to do with it being the business. So what's in your face? It's not like that. There's dudes out there that don't get busy. That's not still lyrical. The same dudes that started hip hop is most of them is still alive now. they still here. The dudes that started it, like even the dudes that your pop used to listen to, a lot of them is still alive. Like a lot of people that always had bars is still around. They still here. And then there's new generations that came after them of dudes that love bars that get busy. It's just all about what the attention on at the time, what the light on, what the machines is pushing at the time. And it seemed like they was pushing dudes that ain't had bars. So people just thought the whole world ain't had bars and bars was dead. But that's not
I actually got an interesting input on that one. See, like, okay, when I was growing up, I also played basketball and I wanted to go to the league. And my favorite player was Allen Iverson, primarily because he was a short guard. So when he went to the finals against the Lakers, even though the Lakers was my favorite team, I wanted Allen Iverson to win, because if he could win the championship being a short guard, that means I could go to the league and be the short guard too. I could never Shaquille O'Neal, who was averaging 35 and 15, and they swept it in. You know what I'm saying? Was a nigga. He could never be my favorite player because I could never be 7 foot and I could never dominate like that. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what's happening with hip hop. See, it's a lot of people want to be Allen Iverson. Oh, we can do that. We can make these type of records. So we're gonna push for them to win. But we can't emulate no Shaquille O'Neals. We can't emulate no Cassidys. We can't emulate no Eminems. We can't do that.
Nah,
you know what I'm
that's a
saying?
beautiful analogy, man. That's one of the best I ever heard, yo. Like how you put that shit together, that's dope, man. I like that. I might even steal your shit, man. But I might steal your shit. I might say that shit some other time. That's dope, though. That is a beautiful analogy, man. I like that.
I appreciate that, Cass. So what they try to do?
Exactly right.
Yeah. So what they try to do is, so since you so dominant in the paint, they try to change the rules. Now we putting a college, high school, we putting the zone in the league. You know what I'm saying? Now we got a 3-second rule. Now we're gonna play small ball and make it where you can't touch and where everybody shoot threes and try to X out these Shaquille O'Neals, these niggas that can't be stopped. You know what I'm saying with this? So that's what I think what's going on with that, man. So you don't ever stop, Cass, man. Keep killing these niggas, man.
Yeah, that's how they want it, man. And that's how that's why so many people trying to do it, because nowadays with the music that you hear, even if you do like it, it don't sound that complicated. It sound easy. So you're like, damn, I could probably did a song like that. Like that, I could have fucking did that, man. So when people start thinking like that, then everybody want to try. When you see Michael Jordan dunking from the foul line, or putting it up with this hand and switching hands and gliding under the court and doing all this crazy shit, nobody never think that they could do that. That shit look, and like you could actually see, like, I can't do that. I just know I can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see Mike Tyson going in there against niggas damn near 300 pounds and 6'7" and 8 and just putting them to sleep in 20 seconds. The average nigga like, man, I can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they be impressed by that. But with rap, the biggest song in the world, you turn it on and you're like, yo, I could have wrote some better shit than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that's where the problem is at. You know what I mean? But a lot of that got to do with the business, because I guess they wanted to keep a lot of people interested at the time. And you know, the game 360. So it's times where people focus and they need information. They want to be taught. They want to learn. So that's when they go back to bars. And that's where we at now. Like with COVID-19, people quarantining, people locked in, no clubs open. It's not a bunch of dance party music. It's not like the funnest time. It's like shit serious. So niggas want to hear bars. That's why you see everything that got content or something real behind it is winning at the time. Not all of the fake shit right now, because it's a serious issue. You know what I'm saying? So the game 360. But before that, people was in the club. It's like we went through so much serious times that we had a black president. It's like we up. It's like, so people just wanted to party and dance. And it's like, you know what I mean? So it was a different type of music that was getting pushed in your face at the time. But now it's about to go back to content, to bars, the people that could get busy, because that's what the fans going to demand right now. You know what I mean?
Cass, so much more I want to talk about. I don't want to hold your time up, bro. I just want to say thank you so much, man, for always doing you. Don't stop. He takes heads. He's a Highlander, my nigga. And I don't know if you ever watch Highlander. Whoever head you take off, you take their power. So you niggas can't even round better than niggas he didn't already killed before. So you think whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Facts. That's dope, man. Nah, for real, yo. Sometimes interviews, You know what I mean? This is business, and you know they got a fan base, and you're trying to reach out to the public. So you do interviews, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a job. But I really enjoyed this, man. Like the analogies you gave, your whole outlook, how you fuck with me for real, man. This shit made me happy, man. You put a smile on my face. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'ma lock you in, man. Whatever you need, man. I'm here, boy. I fuck with you for real. Shout out to
Man,
Houston, Texas, man. Little Flipper tell you, man, when I was grinding, we used to be in the studio a lot. That was my nigga, man. I fuck with him heavy, man. I fuck with that, fuck with the vibe out there heavy. Can't wait to get
oh, yeah,
back
yeah.
out there too, man. My new music is on all platforms, man. Whatever platform you're using, just type my name in there, Cassidy, and you're gonna see some new stuff popping up. I'm always creating. You want to reach me for business, as far as like sending beats or you want features or something like that, any type of information concerning business, you can reach me at shitlitty@gmail, SHITLITTY@gmail. My social media is Cassidy_Larceny. I got the blue check, so you'll know it's me. Larceny is LARSINY, Cassidy_Larceny. That's my social media. And everybody listening, I need y'all to go check my website out. It's
Mm.
www.CassidyTheHustler.com. Cassidy DAHUSTLA, CassidyTheHustler.com. All my merchandise is there. All my clothes. We got the dad hats, the snapbacks. We got the hoodies, the jackets, the t-shirts. We got the whole layout. We even got Corona masks available now. So y'all need to go on the web
Mm.
page and check it out. Plus, we got my new videos, all my new music, and we keep you updated with what I got going on in the web page. So lock in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This Cassidy on the Core 94. You already know how they give it up. So I need you to show them the respect they deserve, man. Easy. You got some bars too, man. Don't let up, man.